welcome to Craft and Chat. Today is the 12th of May. If you are watching this either on my blog or on YouTube, you won't be able to see the comments that I'm responding to. I will try and read them out, just so that it makes sense what I'm actually replying to. But thank you very much for joining me, whether you're live or here on the replay. So I'm just gonna check the comments. Everyone is here. And Amanda's saying these Tuesdays come round so fast. Yeah, they kind of do and they don't. On Tuesday, I'm kind of sat having my lunch and going, oh no, I've got to be there in 10 minutes, quick. But the days do seem to be quite long currently. I don't know about you guys. Some days seem like a week. But you know, at least we've got our crafting to keep us busy and keep us occupied. I've got a few hints and tips for you, a few questions for you, and some crafting. So let's start out with, tell me what you've been up to since last week. Last week we had people alphabetizing their spice racks and decorating and clearing out and doing all sorts of things. So what have you been up to this week? And whilst you're busy typing in the answers, I'll tell you what we've been doing. Brian and I have had a 4-day weekend. It was a bank holiday here on Friday for VE Day, and because of the way Brian works, he's had to take some additional leave. So I've had a 4-day weekend, which is kind of a bit weird, because obviously we didn't actually go anywhere, but I feel a lot more rested than I have done for a few weeks actually. So, you know, we've been gardening and we've been out on our bikes and more gardening and baking and just kind of hanging out. It's been really lovely. So I know we can't actually go on holiday at the moment, most of us, but I would actually recommend having a day off or a few days off and just going and chilling out. I've done lots of crochet. Yesterday I did a lot of crochet. Next week I'll bring my current crochet project to show you. Because I am a little concerned that crochet may take over my entire house, I'm limiting myself to working on 3 projects at a time. So currently I've only got 2, one which is a secret project and one which I'll share with you next week. So that's what I've been up to. I'm going to scroll back on the comments and kind of answer those. Pat says she's late on parade. She's been cooking cakes. What kind of cakes, Pat? And you've messaged me and I'm going to reply after this, because I need to know whether you want refills or complete units. Lynn, I got a card in the post from you today. Made me very happy. It's beautiful. And that will lead me on to something else I need to talk to you about in a minute. Amanda is potting her bedding plants. Sue Hyson's making face masks. That's fabulous. I saw a picture of that on Facebook a minute ago. Pam is still in the loft. Oh, Pam. It's clearly a huge job if you're still in the loft. Roz has done baking for the V-Day afternoon tea on her driveway. That sounds really cool. Sally has not alphabetised her spices. Why ever not, Sally? She's been sat in the garden in the sunshine, which has been lovely. Yeah. Do you know, we've done quite a lot of that too, in between the gardening. It's just been so glorious, hasn't it? Becky's having her first week at home from work. Making sure the teenagers are homeschooling and not home gaming. Yeah. That's a tricky one, isn't it? That is tricky. Joanne's been baking. Linda has been organising and sorting 50 years of photographs, scrapbooking, card making. That's amazing. Absolutely recommend everybody gets their photos out and gets them sorted out, digitally or real photos. My mum's here. Hi, Mum. Oh, fruit fairy cakes and honeycomb fairy cakes. I like the sound of honeycomb fairy cakes. Pat, have you got a recipe? I love honeycomb. And Belinda's been clearing out a shed. Julie's been gardening, making cards. And her husband's decorating, so there's a mess everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, decorating is always, yeah, it makes such a mess, doesn't it? And Susan is trying to get a grip on household paperwork. That's a good thing to be doing as well. I need to get on with that. Actually, I need to get on with my tax return. That would be a good thing to do. Right. I'm going to select my coffee. Julia is asking if anyone's selling masks. So just anyone that's making masks, if you just reply and then you guys can, if you can message not on the page, just message each other separately, that'd be good. And Julie's here. So hi Julie. Okay. So what else have I got? So some tips first. And that's really cool because the thing that I needed to show you is not here. And I'm not going to leave you and go and fetch it. So I will talk to you. My first tip is about cleaning your stamps. So it's one of those things that I get asked a lot. And if you've ever been to classes, in-person classes with me, you will know that I am a bit evangelical about what I clean my stamps with. And lots of people have these baby wipes. Please don't clean your stamps with baby wipes. These, of all of them, are one of the best. But baby wipes are not good for cleaning your stamps because they leave fibres on your stamps. They often have alcohol in them or perfume in them. So if you're cleaning your stamps, if you've not got a specialised stamp cleaner, and Stampin' Up have two, and I'll talk to you about those in a minute, but if you haven't, then an old cloth or a tea towel that's wet with maybe a bit of fairy liquid on it, that obviously you don't care that it's going to get stained, that will work. Running your stamps under the tap, running water on the stamps from the tap, would work as well. But baby wipes, particularly cheap baby wipes that have alcohol or aloe vera actually in them, it's just not good for your stamps. So please don't use them. Baby wipes are for techniques and for your hands. And obviously baby's bottoms, which is what they were designed for. But in my world, that's what I use them for. We have two different stamp cleaners. We have a chamois, which is a new thing, and it's like a foam, and basically when it's wet it's pliable and soft, and when it's dry it's hard. So it's like a chamois leather but thicker, and that is brilliant for cleaning all types of stamps, so red rubber stamps and photopolymer stamps. We also have a stamp and scrub, and that has a mist, and I'll put links to all of these on the Facebook group and also on my blog. And that's really good. I use that mainly for red rubber stamps, and you scrub it on one side, which is the wet side, and you dry it on the other, so it's like a washer dryer for stamps. But using something to get your stamps clean is a good plan. That said, there are people who don't clean their stamps ever. They just, you know, wipe them with a bit of wet rag, and that works too. It does depend on the ink that you're using as well. Okay, so who else have I got? So Christine's here. She should be on holiday in Spain. Oh, but we've had such good sunshine here, Christine. That's good. Angela said she's not been doing much except for keeping in touch with family and friends here, but that is so important, isn't it? So important to keep in contact with people. Lucy Ann's here. Charlotte's here. Joanne's going, oh dear. Why are you going, oh dear, Joanne? What have I said that is making you go, oh dear? And Noreen's here, and Sarah's here, and Kay's here, and Maggie's here, and Debbie's here. I'm so excited. There's so many of you here. Okay, so cleaning stamps. You need to clean them, really. But please don't use those wet wipes with alcohol and aloe vera and stuff in. It's just not good for your stamps. So then there is another tip. Now this tip came about when I was talking to my mum at the weekend. So how many of you make more than one card at a time? So for instance, when you've made, you've made a card and you've got everything out, do you make like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 additional cards? I know some people do and some people absolutely don't. I personally will make loads of one design. Obviously I send out a lot of cards to team and to customers, and it's quite normal for me to make 40 or 50 of one design, and it's much quicker to do it when everything's out to make multiples. But what Mum was doing was she was making like 2 or 3 of the same card, and she's obviously used one, so she sent it, but then she's putting these other 1 or 2 cards in a basket, so she's got a supply of cards, which is a great plan. So what I suggested to her was to put a post-it note inside those spare cards to say who she sent the other one to, and when she sent it, because that way she's not going to run the risk of sending the same card to the same person next year. But also you can, if you've got groups of friends or things, that means that you can send it to a different person who's not going to see it on somebody else's mantelpiece. Does that make sense? And I just think that might help, because I don't know about you, but I don't remember which card I sent. And for me, when I'm sending customer cards and things, I have a list, but this post-it note will work when you've got just 2 or 3 at a time. Okay, so Joanne's saying her oh dear was baby wipes. Okay, Joanne. Hope we've cleared that one up for you. Laura, hi. Christine, yes, she makes several. And Lynn says she does as well. Thank you, Angela. Angela's saying that's a good idea. I'm pleased you like that idea. One of my team I was talking to earlier on today, and I was explaining something to her, and she was just saying, at the moment we have so many things in our heads and we're dealing with so many different things, and some people are homeschooling, some people are looking after elderly parents or friends, we're trying to work, we're trying to take our businesses online, we're doing all these different things, and it's easy to forget stuff. So if that helps, I am very pleased with that. Daphne's here. She's not normally home on a Tuesday afternoon. Hello, Daphne. I'm really pleased to see you. I hope you're doing okay. Right, and Nikki's here as well. Awesome. So, oh yeah, now I've got a dilemma for you before I get to the crafting bit. This is funny. So, today, I mentioned earlier that I had a card from Lynn that I opened today. But it was sat on the side in the dining room for about 2 hours just looking at me. I didn't open it. It's my birthday in a couple of weeks. And this time of year, I'm always freaked out by getting stuff in the post because I don't know if it's for my birthday and therefore I shouldn't open it, or whether it's not. And of course, because the post is so slow, people are sending things early. So this is a real dilemma for me, because what I don't want to do is if somebody sent me a card like Lynn's was, and it had a lovely note in it, was completely nothing to do with my birthday, and if I stack it on the side and leave it for 2 weeks, that would be really sad because she'd think that I hadn't got it. So I don't know. What would you do? Tell me what to do about this thing. I don't want. You see, I don't want to open birthday cards early. Yeah, that's just. I'm awaiting your wisdom. Right. Whilst I'm awaiting your wisdom, I'm going to slurp my coffee. Today, I've got a technique for you, which is a little bit of fun. But you know, last week's herringbone design, I have seen so many beautiful cards. You guys are awesome. I love to see what you've been making, and it's been brilliant to see these cards popping up all over the place. Now, one of the places that they have been popping up is the Inspiring Inkin Crafting Corner. It's on Facebook. It's a group that's open to everybody. And we chat about craft there. And all sorts of different crafts, all sorts of different things that we make. Rosie today put up the most beautiful crocheted blanket that she's done. We have all sorts of different things, and I love seeing people helping one another and sharing information and all of that. So if you haven't joined us yet, come over and hang out with us. We have all sorts of crafts, so it doesn't matter if paper craft isn't your only craft. You can share all your crafts there. Okay, so let's see. Angela says, that's a good plan. Angela says, when she sends a birthday card, she puts the date on the back of the envelope. That's good, because then I'd know. Sue says, sorry she's late. She hopes doesn't get a detention. No detentions, Sue. Definitely not. Alabama is in the house. Hi, Lou. Julie said, get your husband to open it. No, that's the joy of it. I want to open it. I suppose I could get him to seal it back down again. Open it, have a peek, and if it says birthday, put it away, says Pat. Yeah, you see, that's probably what I'm going to do. Write a date on the envelope. Oh, Julia, that's nice. If I opened my cards early, it would mean I could look at them longer. That is a good plan. But then I'd be worried that I wouldn't have anything to open on my birthday. Daphne says she puts a capital B on the back of the envelope. That's good. Oh, Lou's shared this video. Thank you, Lou. Do share the video if you would like to. There's a little button on my iPad. It's bottom left, and you can share it onto your page, or you can tag your friends in this as well if you want to, and then they can sort of come and see what we're up to. So yeah. I'm still agonising about what I'm going to do, but we'll see. We'll see. It might not be too much of a problem, but I don't want to open them early. I like to open them on my birthday. Right, so shall we do some crafting? I think that would be a good plan. I am going to cover you up and turn the camera around. I'll keep talking to you, so you know I'm still here, but I have to kind of move things about a little bit. So just bear with me a moment whilst I cover you over and turn everything around. Woo! That was a bit more violent than I had anticipated. Right. Oh, come on. Right. Okay. Move my iPad out of the way. Oh, and let's see what we're doing. Let's see. Are we in shot? Ooh. I need that stamp. Got wires everywhere. My grid paper's upside down. There we go. Is that better? Let's hold that down. Hold that down. Okay. Fab. Right. I'm just going to move that light a little bit. Okay. Awesome. Right. More coffee. Llewellyn says she's trying to get her husband to make a cool glue holder like yours. Yeah, it is very cool. Husbands are very good at making things like that. I actually got, I'll bring that in next week, the one, this is the one that I use when I'm filming and doing Facebook Lives. The one on my desk in my office has got 5 Tombos, 5 holes. So yeah, so I've always got Tombow on the go. Okay, I am using this stamp set. It's called Positive Thoughts. It's just such a lovely stamp set. I'm really thrilled to say it's going to be in the new book. So it's going to be around for another year. So I'm really excited about this. I like the sentiments on here as well. So I'm going to be making 2 cards. And I'm going to be using wet wipes. So I have got here, this is a silica mat. It's got glue on it. You can use, for this technique, you can use a plate to put this on. But when you are using the wet wipes, pick them that are like this. So it says no perfume. It will also say on it that it hasn't got any alcohol in it, so you don't want any alcohol, and you also don't really want any aloe vera either, because it's not good for your stamps. So like I said before, when you're cleaning your stamps, you don't want to use these. We are going to be using these to stamp with now. But I will be cleaning the stamp straight away afterwards. Okay, so I have folded up my wet wipe into 4, and I'm actually going to be using this stamp first. And what you want to do is fold the wet wipe so that you know the kind of the size of the stamp that you're going to be using. And I have got 3 reinkers here. So I've got Old Olive and Granny Apple Green and, what's the yellow? Crushed Curry. And I'm hoping that you're going to be able to see, I am dripping ink from about 2 inches. So about that high, because I want it to spread. So I want these spots of ink to touch. And what we're actually doing is we are making an ink pad with our re-inkers. And if you're in Europe, re-inkers are in stock now. They have been out of stock for a long time. Look, I'm covered in ink already. So, you have got ink all over that area, and basically what I want to do is just to make sure, I'm just holding the stamp over there, make sure that I've got ink everywhere that I need it. Now, I found that having 3 colours of ink works really, really well. 4 or more, it tends to get a bit muddy, and you don't get as much definition. As with all colour work, avoid putting red and green together because you will make brown and it won't be nice. It will be muddy and horrid. So I'm just going to move that to one side. I've got my Whisper White cardstock and I'm going to tap lightly on my ink pad and I am going to stamp it down. And look at that. How pretty is that? So you've got all the different colours, and every time you stamp this, it's going to look different. Now, what you don't want to do, let me just stamp that down, and do that last bit, and then I'll explain. When you're inking up your stamp, you want to just go up and down in the same spot. What you don't want to do is kind of move too much across because you will mix the colours. So go like 2 or 3 times in the same spot, and let me just get this because it's for the inside, and then just stamp it down. And I'm hoping if I hold this up a little bit, you'll be able to see the definition of the colour. So I'm just going to move that out of the way for now and bring in Happy Birthday. This is from Peaceful Moments. Pretty much my favourite sentiment stamp set, and this is also carrying on, so I'm very pleased about that. So I'm going to stamp my Happy Birthday, and this is Blackberry Bliss, and then I'm going to stamp the butterfly, and I've stamped that to kind of get the position for it, but also to get the antenna. And then I'm just going to stamp this and then cut it out. So Chris is saying this is very effective. Thanks, Chris. This is just one of my favourite things to do, just to get a bit of dimension with the colours. There's lots of ways that you can get different colours on your stamps, but this is a bit of fun. And you know, lots of us have got lots of re-inkers in our stash, so it's a good way of playing with those. And leaves, all different kinds of leaves would work really well with this. Obviously I've kind of gone with fairly natural colours, but you can do all sorts of funky colours as well. Actually, I'm going to cut this butterfly tail off. It's a bit drastic, isn't it? But then that piece will come up. Pat said, I love that. Thanks, Pat. Pat said she wasn't that impressed until I stamped it. Yeah, you see, that's the thing, isn't it? you do something and you think, oh, that's not great, and then you look at it again and go, oh yeah, actually that works really well. So stay. Okay, so I'm going to assemble this card quick, and then I do have another one that I'm going to show you. And this is the thing that will make the difference. This is always the thing that makes a difference. You mat and layer and you think, oh yeah, that's quite nice. And then you work with the coordination that Stampin' Up provides. And you put the colours together and it's like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Chris is saying it would be great for trees too. Yes, it would. It's great for all sorts of different images. You will get different effects. So this leaf that I have here is quite solid, but equally it would work with this. And actually I'll show you that in a second. Let me finish this card and I'll show you that before I do the second set of colours. Joanne says she's going to use the wet wipes to do this technique instead of cleaning her stamps with them. I think that's a marvellous plan, Joanne. There we go. Okay, so there's your first card. Really simple, and it's the technique that is doing the decorating here, as opposed to lots of different layers and so on. So I'll just put that to one side. Let me bring back in this ink pad and I'll just show you. Hopefully you can see that. So you get obviously a similar effect, but where this has got more detail in it, it's different again. Okay, so just play around with it. All sorts of different things with different stamps. Now there is plenty of ink on this to carry on, and you'll probably make 3, 4, 5 cards. So what you can do is, obviously I've cut these layers suitable for this size card, but you can just take an A4 sheet and stamp over the whole background and then cut it up. You know, that would work really well, but obviously don't throw that away. Use that for several projects. I'm just going to move it and clean up so that I can use a different colour. Okay, so this time I'm going to be using this feather, which is also in the same stamp set. And this sentiment, sending positive thoughts and feel good wishes, which is a really nice sentiment for now. This is a much smaller stamp, so just make this a bit smaller, because you just don't need a big space. So, you know, this is a really small stamp. So this time I'm going for purples and pinks and blues. So Blushing Bride I've got, Balmy Blue and Highland Heather. So it's a bit of blue. Pink, and then some purple to kind of pull it all together. I am just going to put a little bit more pink there. Okay, so let's get this. So again, ink it up and stamp. And what I'm going to do is have it so these feathers look like they're all falling, all in the same direction. And a little bit there. Okay, so I've got my Night of Navy ink pad. And I'm going to put the sentiment there. And then I'm actually going to do 3 Night of Navy feathers, just kind of falling down. Hi Prudence, hi Jan, late joining, but hello, lovely to see you. You can watch the beginning on the replay, so thank you very much for arriving. So again, this, you've got a much more subtle tie-dye effect if you sort of compare the two. So these are much more vibrant, brighter colours, and this is much softer and subtler. So let's just pull that together as well with some mats and layers. So again, this is Balmy Blue and Highland Heather. Ooh, that's sliding all over the place. There we go. So that one's going there. And again, so this is a completely flat card. I'm just going to put a navy one there. Yeah, this is a completely flat card, which certainly here in the UK, and I think actually in many other countries around the world, you now pay postage not only on the weight but also on the size of the letter. So having a card that is flat is often quite preferable. So there you go. So there is my second card. Let me bring them both in because they're similar but not quite the same. Obviously we've got a much more subtle effect here, and a more vibrant effect here, but you know that you can play around with the colours that you have and make all sorts of different ink pads for your stamps. So does anyone have any questions about this technique? Just waiting to see the comments. I'll drink my coffee just for a minute. This is a really quick technique for you guys today. So who's going to give this a go? Who's going to have a play with this technique today or this week? I'm just going to, I'll hold these down. I will be taking pictures so you'll be able to see them later. Oh, all the comments are saying these are lovely. Thank you. That's really nice. I'm really pleased that you like them. I hope that you've got re-inkers, so you can play with the colours. Just make sure that you don't make mud. Keep your reds and your greens away from each other. So Sue says it was described beautifully, so that's good. Sarah says she doesn't have any baby wipes. Sarah, what you can try, and this is something for all of you. If you've got a piece of felt, you can do that too. Or I'm not sure cotton would work. You need something that's going to hold the ink. But try a piece of felt, that might work. Let's have a look. Lou Ellen says she's going to try it next week because she's quilting. Joanne's definitely going to be doing it. Okay, the colours that I used on the green card. Whoa, so Granny Apple Green, Old Olive and Crushed Curry are the green. On the feather card, it was Balmy Blue, Highland Heather and Blushing Bride. Okay, so Paula's going to give it a go, Sue's going to give it a go, Christine is. Amanda says she loves the feather colours, thank you. Joanne says she's a bit limited with Rinkas, but you have a few. Yeah, and just try it with whichever ones that you have. Oh, Angela, top tip from Angela. So Angela's saying that she's done this technique and kept these inside a Stampin' Up storage box, and it keeps them wet for a day or two. It would work also slipping it inside a cello bag. That would work, or a Ziploc bag. That's a great top tip, Angela. Thank you. Debbie says she's going to try with some retired re-inkers. That is a good plan. And Nicola's going to give it a go too. And Lynn is after she's finished her grandson's card. Awesome. You know how to make a girl happy. Because I just love to see what you make. So I absolutely want you to share all your pictures. Good, and Roz is going to do it, and Julie says she doesn't have any re-inkers. Oh no, Julie. Best put some on your next order. If you have Stampin' Up ink pads, do buy the re-inkers. They're £3.50, and it means then that you'll never run out of ink on your ink pad. Well, obviously until the bottle's gone. But then you can play with this technique. So hopefully soon, Julie. So Sue's going to rewatch the beginning. Oh, that would be a good plan. Sarah says that she might have a wipe that she uses for cleaning the floor with. That may well work. Patricia, thank you. I'm so pleased that you have enjoyed that. So I do have kind of a final request. Obviously I'm here every Tuesday at 2. So if you want to see a particular technique, or you want me to show something, sometimes I do 3D projects, sometimes I do techniques. It just depends. But I would love to hear from you of things that you might like to see. Because then, you know, I'll have a great big long list, and that would be really helpful for me to share things that you want to see as well. Can I show one using the second colours with the first stamp? Yes. So the leaves, but with the blue and the pink, Pat. Is that what you mean? So this stamp, this stamp, and these colours. I think that's what you mean. Let me just clean off this. Okay, right. So the part of the downside is this is a much smaller ink pad and this is a much bigger stamp, so it won't give it all of it. But there you go. Oh, that's pretty. Let's see if I can get a bit more. There we go. That's really nice, Pat. Thank you for asking me to do that. I'll put it up a bit closer, hopefully you'll be able to see. It's just really soft. Really pretty. Awesome. Okay, right. So thank you so much for joining me today. I am going to love you and leave you for now. Do pop over to the Inspiring Inkin Crafting Corner to come and hang out with us and chat over there. If not, I will see you next Tuesday here at 2. Do check out my blog as well, which is www.inspiringinkin.com. I have a video there every Friday, creative inspiration during the week as well. And yeah, I am really thankful to all of you for spending some time with me today. I will see you all next week. Goodbye.